procedures, particularly the last meeting we had was through summons, where the governor for Isiolo was compelled to appear before the Senate via summons. In line with Article 117 and Part 5 of the Constitution of Kenya, and in line with Section 19 of the Parliamentary Powers and Privileges Act, the committee directed that Governor Abdi Ibrahim Hassan be fined the sum of 500,000 shillings because of reasons that were properly canvassed and documented. Ideally, we would expect that any subsequent procedures or proceedings of the Senate can only be undertaken once the fine has been paid, because the fine was supposed to purge contempt, and therefore any proceedings can only happen once that contempt has been purged. Now, it has been brought to my attention that there's been a delay in conveying the letter to the county executive of Isiolo. And it is for that reason that we might find ourselves in the uncomfortable position of proceeding with this hearing before that contempt is purged. But for avoidance of doubt, that fine remains, and immediately the clerk of the Senate conveys that communication to Isiolo County Executive, we will expect that the governor shall abide by the directions of the committee. I think that's an important preliminary matter that we must deal with, because if the letter had gone to Isiolo, then we would have demanded evidence of payment before we proceed. So the fine has not been lifted, it has not been waived. I think there's just been a delay in communication, and once that communication goes to the county executive, we'll expect compliance. Secondly, we raised the issue of the corruption risk assessment by the EACC and asked EACC to provide a copy of the corruption risk assessment report to the governor of Isiolo. EACC, can you give us an update on that?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, I confirmed that the report had been submitted to the county government of Isiolo, county executive. And that notwithstanding, we resubmitted the report once again. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, can you confirm receipt of EACC's risk assessment report?
Yes, Chair, we got the report from the EACC. Now we are acting on it. Thank you.
Okay, so as directed at the last sitting, we would be expecting an update within 3 months of receipt of that report. Honorable members, unless there's any other preliminary observation, it was important to deal with those two before we get into the substantive audit report. Senator Dulo.
Chair, I want to communicate that after we visited Isiolo, the governor Isiolo went public and said that he's not going to put in money into the stadium because there is investigation going on by EACC. And I wish to confirm to this gathering, the investigation is going on, and there was a letter to that effect in March this year. But there was no instruction to stop the construction going on. That is what I wanted to communicate.
Because the issue of projects will be coming up as a substantive audit issue, we have already looked at Annex 3 of the responses from the county executive. We can deal with it in detail when we get to that Annex 3. Senator Cherate?
Chair, I noticed maybe so that for answered purposes, in other circles, governor is known as Guyo, but when he was introducing himself in other names, so I don't know, so that some of us are used to using the name Guyo. Is it just jina ya kujibandika, or the real names is what you just swore under oath, so that we don't get confused? Thank you, Chair.
Chair, my name is Abdi Ibrahim Hassan. Yeah.
It is just like the way some people refer to you as Mtetezi. And it is not... yeah, no. I think Mofa is official.
It's official, it's patterned.
So, Mofaya, can you go on record and make sure that your official names are on record?
Thank you, Chair. This is Senator Mwenda Kataya Mofaya, Tharaka-Nithi County, member of this committee, and a close neighbor to Isiolo.
Did Senator Mtata go on record? Senator Mtata?
Chair, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members of the Senate, Your Excellency Governor of Isiolo and your team, my name is Okio Mtato Koiti, Governor from Busia, a member of this committee.
Governor.
Order.
Governor for?
Is he already a governor?
But I said from, not for.
You said governor.
You said governor.
Senator from Busia. I had mentioned governor and I got confused.
I think you need to reconfigure your political plans because...
No, I'm not interested in the governorship at all.
Because according to Gen Z, you are their presidential candidate. So you might vacate the governor's ambition and go for the bigger one.
Chair, that is the talk in town. I've just confided to Mtata that is the talk in Meru and everywhere.
So
I
escalate
don't
your...
believe if I hear it from Sifuna.
Senator Sifuna, you have been mentioned.
Chair, I must confess that I've also heard it, and we might start getting used to the term President Mtata. I've heard it.
Okay, so all of us are on record. Let's get to the substantive business. We'll start with the financial year ended 30th June 2021. And honorable members, we have spent almost 2 hours going through this report, and there are those where we have taken a view and those we have decided we must interrogate. But what is most important is for us to close the historical years so that we get to the year when Governor Abdi Ibrahim Hassan is in office, to avoid situations of attributing malpractice to people who are not in office. But there's the perpetuity, and we expect you, Governor Abdi Ibrahim Hassan, to take responsibility, take leadership as the current CEO of Isiolo, because the government did not go with the previous occupants of that office. Auditor General, what was your opinion in 2021?
Chair, the opinion in 2021 was a qualified opinion.
So let's go to the basis of that opinion.
The basis for qualified opinion, paragraph 1 is unexplained variance in cash and cash equivalents. The statement of assets and liabilities, and as disclosed in note 21A to the financial statements, reflects 1,040,792,148 shillings in respect to cash and cash equivalents as at 30th June 2021. However, review of cash books, bank statements, and bank reconciliation statements revealed a balance of 966,208,328 shillings, resulting to an unexplained and unreconciled difference of 74,583,820 shillings. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the 1,040,792,148 shillings in respect cash and cash equivalents as at 30th June 2021 could not be confirmed.
Governor, your response?
Chair, CC Finance will do it on my behalf. Thank you.
Chair, upon further review,
Which one is, Clerk, can you guide me on which one is a response? I thought it's supposed to be volume 1. Annex 2 is the same.
Fresh evidence, Chair. It's the same thing.
Same as what?
It has been provided to the AOG, Chair.
Governor, the OAG does not have it in their annexures. The Senate does not have it in our annexures. So anything that is printed now might have been manufactured on Luthuli Street. We have no way of telling.
Chair, we have the list and also actually the extract from the IFBIS.
How many? So that list has got how many employees? The ones who are holding this amount.
In fact, this Imprest was taken way back in 2014.
It doesn't matter.
The list you say you have, how many names does it have? You said you have it there, the one you want to go and print. How many names are on that list?
Because 1.7 could be one employee, it could be 20.
Chair, we don't have the exact figure. The lady has gone to print it. Just give us a few minutes. She'll give me the exact list. Yeah.
You see, you are amending.
I'm not amending the evidence. Yeah.
Versions of the truth. On one hand, you say you have it, and when we ask how many people are in it, now it has gone to the washroom.
Chair.
Senator Chirake.
Maybe the governor says is supplied with you the list. Have you seen that list, the OAG? Because the governor says you have. You saw the list.
Chair, if you go to page 15, it shows the list is 26 members.
Order, Governor.
Sorry, Chair.
I'm asking the OAG. You had said that you gave a copy plus your annexures to.
Page 16, Chair. Page 16, not 15, 16.
Is it here?
Yeah, it shows the list is 26 members. But the names are not here. That's the name which the member has gone to print in the next few minutes.
Which volume?
Page 16.
Page 16?
Yeah.
Like 116?
Yeah, 116, yeah.
So where does that show 16? Where does that show the number? The number of Imprest holders?
You can see the purchase invoices. If you go to it, it counts to 26, Chair. So we will add name into it, Chair.
Governor,
yeah, Chair.
Let's deal with what makes sense.
Okay.
The reason why we are asking this question, we know the law on Imprest was the 1.7 held by one person, and you are going to come across another Imprest question of 42 million in the same financial year. In the prior financial year, we are coming across an Imprest question of 50 million. OAG, was it 50 million?
42.
42 is in this financial year.
Yes.
So we added 42 to this 1.8. And remember, that other issue, there's still a gap. We want to know, was this Imprest issued to the same person? Was it issued before, were they multiple Imprest issued before accountability of the first ones have been done? We want to know in our recommendations whether the persons who should be on the spot are the Imprest holders or the chief officer. And we cannot tell that with this kind of report that you have given us. So unless, and I'll be very careful not to introduce an additional schedule at this point in time. There can only be two ways. No, there can only be, two ways. We either pronounce ourselves on this, or we seek guidance from the Auditor General at the point of report writing. But that guidance must be on the basis of a detailed schedule, showing who took what, when, and when the amount was surrendered. Senator Dulo.
Chair, my question is, were the Imprest recovered with interest? Because the law requires you must recover with interest if it was not paid within the time. And I think the legal counsel can read that provision to the county if they are not familiar with it.
Okay, before you respond, Senator Gattai.
Chair, if I am not wrong, I captioned the OAG say that he has that list of the Imprest holders. I don't know whether he still holds that view.
I think the liaison officer just mentioned that they don't have it.
So which one do we take?
Chair, I think there is a mix-up in these documents, but an IFMIS schedule had been provided. I thought it has circulated to other documents. But right now I can't.
If it's provided, why do you think the Constitution required your report to come to the Senate? or to come to Parliament. It was to enable Parliament to get a view and to make recommendations. Because your report does not have a recommendation. And we have spent the last 4 days in Mombasa with the Auditor General and other stakeholders, saying that OAG, you must give us recommendations. If Imprest was not surrendered, you should tell us Mr. ABC did not surrender Imprest, so that our recommendation is surcharge them. If interest was not levied, you should tell us, so that the chief officer can be held responsible. So OAG, it's not enough to tell us that you saw the schedule. If the client has not presented the schedule to Senate, then we are blind to it. So members, we might want to tie this to the other 40-something million Imprest question that is coming up. Do we cross-reference so that we finalize issues of Imprest?
We can cross-reference also and then look at if there were interest that was levied on particular Imprest holders.
So under lawfulness, there were Imprest management irregularities where the Auditor General cited 42 million. I think let's take the two concurrently because the recommendation might be similar. Auditor General, read out your finding under Imprest management irregularities.
Paragraph. That is paragraph 6. Under lawfulness and effectiveness in use of financial resources, Imprest management irregularities, the statement of assets and liabilities, and as disclosed in note 22 to the financial statements, reflects 43,931,011 shillings in respect to accounts receivables, which includes 42,131,311 shillings in respect to government Imprest, which was outstanding Imprest brought forward from the previous years that had not been cleared from the IFMIS system since the financial year 2017-18. It was further explained that the outstanding Imprest had already been surrendered using the manual records, but the same was not cleared from the IFMIS system. Further, review of documents provided for audit revealed that during the year, the management expensed Imprest as and when they were issued, which is contrary to section 91.1 and section 93.5 of the Public Finance Management County Government Regulation 2015. In the circumstance, the management is in breach of the law. Thank you, Chair.
Governor, your response, and point us to the page number.
Chief Officer Finance will respond on my behalf.
Page number. Make sure the mic is on.
Chair, the management.
Page number.
Page 16.
Proceed.
The management confirms reporting outstanding Imprest amounting to 42,131,311, which is in relation to financial year 2017-2018. We confirm that the Imprest were fully surrendered physically but still remained as encumbrance in IFMIS system. Now it has been cleared. Attached find evidence of clearance of encumbrance, Annex 13A and Annex 13B. In this regard, as pertains the Imprests, we have had the vouchers which are purported to be the surrender Imprest, but according to our observation, we found that there are some gaps, there are some documents missing, and there are documents which are not legible. So I don't know, maybe...
So what amount have you been able to verify?
97.
97?
although they are not also still satisfactory.
The amount in question is 42 million. Out of the 42 million, to what extent have you gotten documents?
We've gotten all the documents, but they're not standard.
Out of the documents you have gotten, how many can you confirm are authentic and complete?
Well, I don't want to commit myself and say that they are authentic.
Governor, you have to answer this, otherwise you put your chief officer on oath. You are not here to decide what to say. You are here to say the truth, and nothing but the truth. There's no choice. This is a simple question, and I know the Auditor General has already given us a figure of 12.1 million. I want to hear from you. What is a figure that you've been able to support from your perspective? Not an opinion, because when it comes to numbers, there's no opinion.
But we put all of them. The documents amounting to 42 million are provided, but maybe the auditor went through and authenticated. But for me, I would say that there are gaps in all the vouchers.
So zero from your perspective?
Yes.
Auditor General?
Chair, we examined surrender vouchers totaling 12,174,000 shillings, and we were satisfied with that 12 million out of the 42 million. So there's a balance of 29,957,311, which we were not satisfied about. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, this is the most interesting thing I've ever heard, where the clients themselves are telling you they cannot vouch for the authenticity of those documents. How then do the Auditor General's office claim 12 million to be authentic documents? Perhaps for my own comfort, if the OAG can just pick one voucher that they say supports this 12 million, so that we go through it together. And to the county government, I want to understand, where did these vouchers come from? Where were you getting them?
CEO will answer it.
Where were you getting those vouchers that you say you are not satisfied with?
We got the vouchers from the Imprest holders.
The Imprest holders had these documents. They were not somewhere in the county government record store or something.
Yeah, we didn't find them in the records.
So you were calling each one of those Imprest holders and they were bringing you a voucher?
Yes.
We have been informed, just a point of information by EACC, that you've got active inquiries regarding Imprest in Isiolo. Kinoti, just...
Just Chair, to add
okay,
on
before you respond,
Senator Sifuna is
Senator
asking, and you accepted the documents? Through Chair. Did you accept the documents you are suspecting were not genuine, and then you handed them over to the auditors?
Yeah, we handed over to the auditors for them to scrutinize. And they found the 12M to be legible.
I think you guys are sleeping on the job. It is not for the Auditor General, and I think that's why Senator Sifuna is amazed. It is not for the Auditor General to be the ones to tell you that this is a proper surrender. And members, what I realize is that Imprest management is a weakness in this county. I think that was captured in the risk assessment report by EACC. There are inquiries with regards to Imprest management in Isiolo already. And looking at even the demeanor of the Chief Officer of Finance, maybe she wants Sifuna to help her to go through those documents, because she looks like she's helpless. Why then don't we ask EACC to help them?
Chair, I went through the documents, but I don't want to say that I didn't go through the document. I went through all the documents, but we had to go through with the auditors, and he found that whatever we had brought him is not to the satisfactory.
Yes, what we need to do, and this is to help you, we need to see those vouchers. I think I need to see those vouchers here, those surrenders, and let the county explain to us why she cannot fully get behind those vouchers. Because when we talk like this, it is very difficult for us who are not accountants to even understand what you're saying. I would want to be shown an example.
Yeah, I have the list with me here. If you can allow me to table, I'll
Is
tell
that
it.
for the 42 or for the 1.7?
For the 1.7, for the beneficiary for 1.7.
No, I think hold it. We are not taking it yet. Let's first do the test that Senator Sifuna is requesting. Auditor General, those Annex 13A and B, maybe you can show us an example of a valid surrender and an example of an invalid surrender. Do we have 13A and B?
Chair, the document is numbered as volumes, so maybe they can also.
Governor, help us to maneuver to Annex 13A and Annex 13B.
Chair, was there tabling of documents the way we usually do?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Because at that stage is when we should have been guided on what has been tabled and what has not been tabled. Because now we're getting confused. So volume 5 is what?
Imprest management, irregularities.
Yes, 13B.
So, OAG, I think the reason why we are coming back to you is you have said you have seen 12.17 million that looks sensible,
Yes, Chair.
and lawful,
Yes.
but the county doubts everything.
Yes, Chair.
So before we come to the conclusion that we agree with you on 12.1,
Yes.
could you just demonstrate to us?
Yes, Chair. There were those that they had certified as true copies, and we had marked them. And during the briefing, we had shown them the ones we had accepted and the ones we agreed.